Alrighty, very happy Friday and welcome to the TNC Sports Talk. My name is Justin. Today is May 29th of 2026. I hope everyone is having themselves a good day heading into the weekend. I apologize for a delayed start. Went live, had a microphone complication. Hopefully this is fixed. I really don't know what's happening, but hopefully this is not going to be an ongoing situation because I hate getting to a rough start here. But we have a lot to talk about here on this episode, getting you guys ready for the college baseball tournament, which begins today. Cincinnati Bearcats are playing in the tournament, so we'll give you all those details of what you guys need to know. We'll give you coverage about the NBA playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs, as well as the Atlanta Braves, which come into town here on a busy weekend. Nice warm weather out there. So wherever you guys are doing this weekend, just please be safe about it. We'll also get you guys ready for SmackDown tonight and Clash of Italy headed our way this coming up Sunday. Before we get started, though, we just want to do my due diligence and wish my father a happy 56th birthday today. Been on this planet Earth for 56 years. Man, we talk several times a week back and forth, just the ups and downs, and you know, try to joke about life just a little bit. But we want to open up our conversations and get right down into it because we have a lot to get to. And we want to talk about Clash in Italy. Here's everything that you need to know heading into the PLE this coming up Sunday. It will take place in Clash of Italy this weekend. It's live on the ESPN Unlimited on Sunday. Uh, it will kick off with a pre-show countdown that begins at noon. Live event starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Will take place at the Inalpi Arena in Turin, Italy. In the United States, you can stream this event on the ESPN app or via the ESPN Unlimited plan. ESPN will also simulcast the pre-show and the opening hour of this event. For international streaming, you can check it out on Netflix outside the US. And so, just the initial thoughts. There are 5 matches. 4 of those matches are title defenses. One of those matches is or 2 of those matches are WrestleMania rematches. I personally believe that when you put Clash in Italy and WWE Backlash side by side from each other, Clash in Italy is just more compelling. It's more top tier matches. It's more organized. It's more elite status when it comes down to the match card. And I'm actually looking forward to this event a lot more than WWE Backlash. I don't know what it is, but they are just hitting the nail on the coffin. So give credit where credit's due. They have themselves a really good PLE ahead of them on Saturday. What about the matches that are scheduled to take place? There's 5 matches on the card. It's simple. Okay. And so we kick things off with what I feel is probably one of the matches that don't get enough attention. Rhea Ripley, or Becky Lynch, excuse me, defending her Women's Intercontinental Championship against Ruka. Now, Ruka and Becky Lynch face each other last week on Saturday Night Main Event. Becky won the match due to some assistance, and it led towards Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis informing Becky that this Sunday she will be defending her Intercontinental Championship. And I think that this match does not get its appropriate attention. I'll tell you why. Becky Lynch is coming off of a feud with AJ Lee that led towards WrestleMania 42. Becky Lynch, okay, and don't get me wrong, AJ Lee is a great athlete. AJ Lee looked like she hasn't skipped a beat or hasn't aged over the last decade of absence. And but there was a part that you'd understand that that comes with the territory of a long-term wrestler to a that hasn't been in the ring for a decade, to someone who is in the ring weekly, who is already at the back end of her career, where she has already accomplished anything and everything under the sun. You'd have the understanding that there's an expectation of two things. One, Becky Lynch is going to that WWE trusts Becky Lynch on carrying this feud, but you also depend on her, carrying the match as well, helping out, right? Kind of give him back. And like I said, this does not go to discredit any skill level that AJ Lee is capable of. But Becky Lynch is one of those lists on my radar that I associate with someone who I could trust, one, put over somebody else, or two, carry a match and make chicken salad out of chicken shit. That's just me. Okay. And because of that, that's how it worked. Now let's move over to Ruka, who just made her main roster debut a few months back. Who got called up a few months back. Let me put it that way. And instead of choosing to go after Liv Morgan, she's going after Becky Lynch. And this is why this works. One, you have an upcoming star who's getting well received attention from the WWE universe. She's very athletic in the ring. She's winning over people, and she's making a name for herself very, very quickly. And along with that, Becky Lynch is someone who not only can help push Ruka to that level, but you also tied into this mix the Intercontinental Championship. And this is the reason why the WWE went with the Intercontinental Championship and the United States Championship, is for doing these athletes need a little bit more than just a typical feud. You could throw a title in the mix and it could help elevate and spark them. Becky Lynch and Ruka this Sunday is a very important match to watch. And it's not necessarily a match that's under pressure. I think that Ruka is doing great, and I'm ready for her to rise to the occasion. Maybe that is just me knowing a little too much from her NXT days, but if you ask me, I would argue I would like to see Ruka become the new Intercontinental champion. Everything that's leading up to this moment leads to me indicating that Ruka is ready for that title. She's a fast rising star from NXT, just got called up not too long ago, and has propelled tremendously, rapidly across the WWE universe. Becky Lynch is the perfect opponent for it. So I, as a fan favorite of this match particularly, want to see Ruka win. Now, I ask myself, well, if Becky Lynch wins, what's next? Who's next to step up? And does this feud even need to be continued? Becky lost her title at the Elimination Chamber, had to win it back at WrestleMania. Now, what would be next? So I really love the momentum on Ruka, and I would like to see her win. Let's talk about Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill, one of the two WrestleMania rematches where Rhea Ripley beat Jade Cargill to win the WWE Women's Championship. I believe that the first feud that they had earlier this year was the best feud that you would be able to see. I don't think that they would be able to top the momentum going into their match at WrestleMania, heading into this match on Sunday. You almost ask yourself, well, why is Rhea and Jade back at it again? And it almost comes to perspective that Jade Cargill lost her title and has a rematch clause that she's cashing in. But Rhea Ripley proved not only to herself, not only to Jade, but to the WWE Universe who the better woman was at WrestleMania. This was the dominant being versus the dominance of the WWE already knowing their role. I side with Rhea Ripley winning this match on Sunday. To me, it makes sense because Rhea is a little bit more versatile as as a just a wrestler compared to Jade Cargill. Now, this next match I find intriguing. And a lot of things have been said in promos that has drawn my attention because it makes sense with what we actually as fans feel. Cody Rhodes will defend his WWE Championship against Gunther this Sunday. And Gunther's made a lot of valid points. You can't sit here and tell me that you're wrong for saying that Cody Rhodes is this quote unquote golden boy who gets whatever he wants whenever he wants. And if the attention is not focused around on him, well, guess what? He will surely find a way to make it about him. I love Cody Rhodes. I think he's a great champion. But I feel like we're running off of a one trick pony. We are waiting for something amazing to happen, I guess. And Gunther has made all the valid points. Now, he's going up against a guy who beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, who's been on this tear of ending careers over the past year. Where does the momentum stop for Gunther? And does it stop at the hands of Cody Rhodes this coming Sunday? Although Cody Rhodes is your champion, I feel like he has stumbled a bit since a year ago, losing the title to John Cena. I feel like there is a reality check that's about to hit everybody, and it hasn't been just something recently developed. I feel like there's been a notion that kind of tarries between where Cody Rhodes sits as a heel and as a face. And I myself would like to see eventually Cody turn heel. But does the WWE agree with that alignment? And if so, when are they willing to pull that plug? Everything leading into Sunday between these two men indicate to me that Gunther would walk away with the momentum he already has as your WWE champion. And I wouldn't say that that's a bad thing. So I am in favor of Gunther winning the WWE Championship. Up next is our second WrestleMania rematch, and that is between Brock Lesnar and Feme. Now, I like these two men. I think they make chemistry when they're in the ring together. I don't mind a part 2 or even a part 3 as long as the story makes sense. But here's what I put at the table. Brock Lesnar seeked a challenger for WrestleMania, and Feme answered it. Not only he answered Brock Lesnar's call, he humiliated Brock Lesnar's call. So much so that he made Brock Lesnar doubt himself for a moment as he was willing to walk away from in-ring competition as he falsely claimed that he retired. In the representation that he laid down his boots and gloves in the center of the ring. But we know Brock better than that. Why ever doubt that he's officially retired? And plus, we didn't hear anything from Brock Lesnar himself, and we know Paul Heyman is not trustworthy to deliver news. So, as a nation in the WWE universe, we were once again fooled by the beast incarnate. He waited, he healed, he analyzes his situation, and then he realized I can't leave with Feme humiliating me in the ring. So Brock returns, takes one on Feme, and says, "Look, I got unfinished business. That's not who I am just to walk away because I got my ass kicked. If you want to prove that you're the ruler of the jungle, come back and do it again." So now we're in opposition. Brock Lesnar has vengeance. He's declaring on Oba this Sunday. And does Brock resurge his reign at the top of the food chain and beat Feme? Well, then you're asking yourself the question. Feme gets called up. Feme dominates Brock Lesnar. He dominates all his other opponents. And truthfully, he doesn't have anybody else at this moment sitting here saying, "Let me face you." So Oba's more than willing and glad to be able to take on another opponent. But who needs to win? If Brock Lesnar loses, that's twice in back-to-back matches. Brock has lost to the ruler of the jungle. If he hasn't doubted himself at WrestleMania 42, now is the time to doubt himself. And Brock may be even saying that, you know what, Oba may be the next big thing. But now, while I'm here in the WWE, you're going to have to end my career before you could claim that spot at the top of the mountain. And that's what Oba wants to do. But here's another image that I wanted to portray in this feud part 2 match. Over the last 3 to possibly 4 months, Feme has been brought up, exposed as this untouchable wrestler. This wrestler that no one could beat him. He's not phased by anybody. Even the best of the best knocks him down, and within matters of seconds, he's back up on his feet. Maybe, and just maybe, the WWE has built Feme a little bit too high. Because you put that type of person against Roman Reigns, there's no match. Feme beats him instantly. You make him where basically there's no opponent that he can challenge or or no obstacles that he has to face. So possibly, just possibly, Brock Lesnar returns to put Oba in his place. He may be the next ruler of the jungle, but he hasn't earned anything yet. Maybe we bring Oba back down from outer space, back into reality. So where now it becomes a little bit more of a challenge, a little bit more of a climb for Oba to climb his way back into a championship picture or the top of the food chain. I do believe, because it only makes sense, you wouldn't return Brock Lesnar just for the hell of it. I would believe that Brock Lesnar walks away with the victory. The score is set one apiece, and the only way to finish this is either in Saudi next month or at WrestleMania or SummerSlam. Not WrestleMania, SummerSlam. How do you impose that idea? Last but not least, we will see the World Heavyweight Championship, Roman Reigns defending his title against Jacob Fatu in a tribal combat. Back at the WWE Backlash, what I proclaimed we saw was a family member for the first time challenging Roman Reigns for authority. For the first time, we saw Roman Reigns face somebody within the family that is either equal, if not better than him. You know why Roman Reigns doesn't want Jacob Fatu around? Because he knows. He knows Jacob's better than him. He knows that battle so much so that he had to use an exposed turnbuckle to win the match. But now this Sunday, no excuses. Anything goes. Jacob Fatu, as much as Roman Reigns pulled out his bag of tricks, it's time for you to pull out your bags of tricks. We know the length that Jacob Fatu is willing to go down. We hope that Roman Reigns is still capable of going that far to that distance that Jacob wants to go through. But is it time for a new head of the table? Is it time for a new tribal chief? I think Roman Reigns is walking around Raw because not only he won at Backlash, so he has the edge over Jacob, but he feels like he's got into Jacob's head and that he has him tamed. He has him controlled. And you know what? Maybe Roman Reigns has him outnumbered. You know, we proclaimed and we argued and debated how maybe last at Backlash we saw something more than just a match. Well, it's Tribal Chief this Sunday as a tribal combat. Anything could happen. The Usos could get involved. LA Knight could get involved. And we've seen this time and time again where outside interference has a play in the outcome of these matches. So my question is what side are who on? Are the Usos on Roman Reigns' side, or are they really supporting Jacob Fatu? Does Solo Sikoa have any position in this match? And if so, how so? Does Royce Keys or LA Knight find their way in this match? Could we see a family return? At the end of the day, until proven wrong, Roman Reigns is, and always will be our tribal chief. And you would have to show me, that believing is seeing is believing. Well, we're going to have to see that this Sunday. Roman Reigns walks out of tribal combat victorious. I feel like all hell breaks loose. but that's where I feel it stands. That is my bold predictions for Clash in Italy coming up this Sunday. Let me know down in the comments what you guys believe is going to happen in Clash in Italy this weekend. And we'll come back Monday and have these discussions. We'll come back at the end of the show and talk WWE SmackDown. That's later on tonight. We're going to transition over to the Cincinnati Reds as they await the Atlanta Braves in a 3-game series that begin tonight at 6:40. Gates open up at 5:10. If you're looking to head out to the ball game, you can watch the game on Reds TV or listen to it on WW 700. It is Nike City Connect Friday game tonight, where the Reds are going to wear their black on black pinstripes. It's going to be great. It's going to follow by post-game fireworks show presented by Columbia Chevrolet. And then this game 2 of the 3-game series tomorrow at 7:15 will be broadcast on Fox, or you can listen to it on WLW 700. Gates open up at 5:45 as City Connect Saturday promotion as they wear the newest City Connect uniforms. Promotion is going to be advertised as the Spencer Steer bobblehead doll presented by Skyline Chili. And then the 3-game finale comes your way at 1:40 p.m. Gates open up at 12:10. You can watch the game on Reds TV or listen to it on 700 WLW. It's going to be the Rookies Day #1. Reds Rookies Day #1. That is the 3-game series headed your way against the Atlanta Braves. Here, look, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, okay? And this is the Atlanta Braves. Take some notes if you're the Reds. This is what a winning team is. This is what a winning team is about. And this is a team that's going to make very little errors. And so if you really want to test yourself on how good you are, taking the series against the Braves would at least give me notice, put my team on notice of how good we are, right? If we want to prove that we're out of this little drought in the month of May, which, it's great that we're going to finish off the month above 500. It's great that we've been able to bounce back and win a couple of series. Those are good things we're looking for to get out of the drought. But beating the Atlanta Braves is a primary to understanding this drought, getting out of it. And so tonight, we're going to be asking Chris Paddock to get the ball on the mound. Chris Paddock, he's 0-6. He has a 6.86 ERA. He last pitched last Saturday against the Cardinals. He went 5 innings, giving up 7 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. And he's going to go up against right-handed pitcher Grant Holmes, who's 3-2 with a 3.78 ERA. Who last pitched also on Saturday at home against the Nationals, where he went 5 innings, giving up 6 hits on 2 runs, 2 walks, and 10 strikeouts. Tomorrow night's matchup is left-handed pitcher Martin Perez going up against right-handed pitcher Brady Singer. And then on Sunday, we have Spencer Strider going up against the bump against left-handed pitcher Nick Lodolo. The good thing that I've noticed is that our pitching rotation has been consistent. It's been giving us 5, pitching us into the 6th inning. And that's what you look for. It takes a workload off the bullpen as they try to still continue to sort things out. So, and then we also talked about earlier this week, which is highlighted to mention, that this is a series that can ultimately define our position in the postseason race come September. It was last year important that we took the Mets series both home and away. And we found out that that paid off because of that, we had the upper advantage making it to the postseason. For the Reds to battle against the Braves, not only and beat the Braves, take the series, not only shows us that we were able to bounce back from this drought earlier this month, it shows us that there's good things ahead to come with this organization, and it gives us leverage because trust me, going into Truist Park in Atlanta later on this season is not going to be a glorified outcome by any means necessary. We're going to have to earn all 27 outs in order to win a ball game in all 3 games. So win the games that you're capable of winning. And in this scenario, you have the home field advantage. So the Reds and Braves this series, Atlanta, who are 38-19, first in the NL East. They are 6-4 over the last 10 games. They are 21-9 on the road this series. They took a 2-game series win over the Red Sox earlier this week. They lost the series to the Nationals last weekend, and they took 3 out of 4 in Miami last week. They will be off Monday after this 3-game series. They will be headed home to host the Toronto Blue Jays and the Pittsburgh Pirates in the upcoming week. The Cincinnati Reds are 29-26, fourth in the NL Central. They are 5-5 over the last 10 games. They're on a 1-game losing streak, losing yesterday to the Wednesday to the Mets. They are 14-12 at home. Well, the Mets won the series against the Mets. The Reds won the series against the Mets, taking 2 out of 3 earlier this week. They split the series with the Cardinals having the makeup game from Sunday later in August. And they took the series 2 out of 3 at Philadelphia last week. They beat a pretty good Phillies team. After this weekend, they will host the Kansas City Royals for 3 games, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, before having a travel day on Thursday to head out to St. Louis. That will begin 6 games against St. Louis, against the Cardinals, and a series against the Padres, beginning not next week, but the week after. A brief look at what's going on in the NL Central, as Milwaukee has a 4-game lead over the Cubs in the division, sitting at 33-20. The Cardinals are 4.5 games back. The Reds are just 5 games back, and the Pirates are 6 games back. Yesterday, the Cubs beat the Pirates, snapping a 10-game losing streak with the final score 7-2. This weekend, we could expect the Pirates back at home at the PNC Park to host the Minnesota Twins for a 3-game set. Friday's matchup begins at 6:45, followed by a 4:05 start time on Saturday and a 1:35 start time on Sunday. The Brewers are on the road in Texas, taking on the Astros in a 3-game set. Tonight, first pitch is at 8:10, followed by Saturday's first pitch at 4:10. Wrap up that 3-game series at 2:10 on Sunday. Last but not least, the Cubs continue their road trip, headed out to Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri, to take on the Cardinals in a 3-game series. All nighttime games here. Tonight's game starts at 7:15. Tomorrow night's game is also at 7:15, and a special 7:20 start time on Sunday, as they will host Sunday Night Baseball. For more information about National League Central news, score, stats, and standings, check out MLB.com for more information. All right. NCAA basketball NCAA baseball, tournament gets underway beginning today. We have the regionals double elimination this weekend, followed by the super regionals, which is a best out of 3 series. And then you have the College World Series double elimination in bracket play, then the best of 3 championship series. Now, you know, I follow a little bit of NCAA baseball, love World Series Baseball Classic, but what does that mean if you are a fan? Well, what is a double elimination? Well, a double elimination round in NCAA baseball means a team is not eliminated from the tournament bracket until they lose 2 games. It used in the opening regionals 16-14 brackets and the men's college world series 2 4-team brackets uh, to ensure teams have second chances to advance. So this is how it works. The winning bracket, the teams that win their games, opening games, will advance to the winner's bracket. A team can remain in the winner's bracket until they drop a game. The losers move to the elimination bracket. Teams that lose their first game drop into this bracket. From this point on, every game is a win or go home elimination game. Explained in advance, game 1 and game 2 opening round, the top 2 seeds generally play the bottom 2 seeds. The winner will advance and face each other, while the losers drop to the elimination bracket. Game 3, which is the elimination game, the 2 opening round losers will play each other. The losers is knocked out of the tournament while the winner stays alive. In game 4, in the winner's bracket, the 2 teams who won in the opening rounds will play each other. The winner becomes the only undefeated team with the bracket with a 2-0 record, while the loser drops to game 5. A game 5 is a semifinal. The loser in game 4 will play the winner of game 3. The winner of this game advances to the bracket championships. Game 6, bracket championships. The undefeated team of game 4 will play the team that survived in the loser bracket in game 5. If an undefeated team wins, they advance. If the loser bracket team wins, both teams now have 1 loss, triggering deciding game 7, winner take all. Is that a lot of information? Just want you to understand how this weekend goes. So there are games already live. We're going to be focusing on a couple particular games here. Let me get you to that. So in Los Angeles, okay, we see, here's how the bracket goes. UCLA takes on St. Mary, while Virginia Tech takes on Cal Poly. You have West Virginia taking on Birmingham, while Wake Forest takes on Kentucky. Georgia Tech take on UIC, as Oklahoma takes on the Citadel. And Kansas takes on Northwestern as Arkansas takes on Missouri State. I believe that's what that's the bracket. Let me rephrase that. You have the Los Angeles bracket, which is UCLA, St. Mary's, Virginia Tech, Cal Poly. The Atlanta bracket is the Georgia Tech, UIC, Oklahoma, and the Citadel. In the Lawrence bracket is Kansas, Northwestern, Arkansas, Missouri State. West Virginia, Birmingham, and Wake Forest, and Kentucky is the Montgomery bracket. Then you have the Hattiesburg bracket. Southern Miss, Little Rock, Virginia, Jack State. Tallahassee bracket, you have Florida State, St. John, Coastal Carolina, and NIU. Tuscaloosa is Alabama, Alabama State, Oklahoma State, and USC Upstate. In Gainesville is Florida, Rider, Miami, Florida, and Troy. Chapel Hill, you have UNC, VCU, Tennessee, East Carolina. In Austin, you have Texas, Holy Cross, UCSB, and Tarleton State. College Station, you have Texas A&M, Lamar, USC, Texas State. Eugene, you have Oregon, Yale, Oregon State, Washington State. Starkville, you have Mississippi State, Linscomb, Cincinnati, and Louisiana. In Lincoln, you have Nebraska, South Dakota State, Ole Miss, and Arizona State. Auburn, you have Auburn, Milwaukee, UCF, and NC State. And then Athens, you have Georgia, LIU, Boston College, and Liberty. So let's focus on Starksville. There are 4 teams: Mississippi State, Linscomb, Cincinnati, and Louisville. Okay. So let's go down to see the scores. And give me a moment. I'm going to find Cincinnati here. All right. So you have Louisiana taking on Cincinnati. And then you have, is it afterwards? And then you have, where are they at? Linscomb taking on Mississippi State. That's at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Eastern time. So the winners of Linscomb and Mississippi State will go on to face the winners of Cincinnati and Louisiana. The losers of these 2 games will go on and face each other in a 1-game elimination, while the winners will go on and will face each other in a game 2. The winners will advance to the championship game. The losers will wait the winners of the 2 losers game. They will be game 3 and then game 4, all that fun stuff. It's very complex. Basically, you'll get the winners of each bracket. So the winners of Starksville takes on the winners of Athens in the super round. That's a best of 3. And then we get into the final 4, which is the same concept. You had the 4, you had the second brackets, and then you had the finals. I think the finals is a best of 3 championship series. So, who do you guys have winning? I like UCLA. I like Oklahoma, Kansas. I like, I'm going to go for Kentucky, but I think Wake Forest. We got Virginia. I got Florida State. Let's go ahead and do Alabama. Let's do Miami. We'll go UNC in the first round. Texas, Oregon, USC. Let's say do Texas A&M, excuse me. Nebraska. Probably do Louisiana, even though I like Cincinnati. Georgia, and UCF. What do you guys think of the D1 baseball championships and men's college World Series tournament? Let me know down in the comments below. Let's move right along. We got the NBA playoffs coming your way here tonight. Well, not tonight. Yesterday, the Spurs kept things alive, beating the Thunders 118 to 191. The series is now tied. The 7-game series comes to a conclusion this coming up Saturday. Tip-off is at 8 p.m. available on NBC. The winner of the Spurs and Thunder series will go on to face the New York Knicks in the NBA Finals. In the NHL, tonight we will have the Canadiens take on the Hurricanes in Game 5 of their Eastern Conference Finals. Tonight's puck drops at 8 p.m. on TNT. The Hurricanes have a 3-1 lead. If there's a Game 6, that will take place in Montreal on Sunday, available on TNT. Times still awaits. The winner of this series will go on to face the Las Vegas Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup Finals. This is your NBA and NHL playoff proposal. All right. So it's not a hindsight, but we are finally broke the water. And I feel like that's a very important thing if you are if you are Major League Baseball. So earlier this week, the MLB Players Association proposed their idea. Okay. And then now MLB came back and made their proposals yesterday. So here is the proposal for the Players Association. And let me actually, I want to find a better article to read to you. And I think it's out already. Yep. So it's actually a read that you can find. So here is the proposal for the Players Association. A competitive integrity tax. It's levied against teams that don't spend the minimum amount on a player's player's payroll. An increase of a minimum salary from 780 to 1.5 million. An increase of the bottom competitive balance tax, which is the luxury tax threshold, from 244 to 300. Increased sharing of local broadcast revenues among teams, but less sharing of stadium game day revenues. We see a free agency after 5 or more years rather than 6 for players who are at least 30. Expanded draft lottery. Penalties for teams that neglect to spend revenue sharing payments on team payroll. So if they rather spend that money on somewhere else. Elimination of qualifying offers for outgoing free agencies, an increase of compensation of lower revenue teams losing players to free agency. They also want an incentive to teams that are low revenue, but they make the postseason or have winning records. Yesterday, MLB proposed the salary cap, including benefits expenses of $245 million, a salary floor which includes $170 million, and a 50-50 revenue split between clubs and players. Local revenue would be centralized and also shared equally. So, in hindsight, this is typical, but it's very important. And here's how I'll tell you. Negotiations of these circumstances are important to at least break water. We know now the absolute bottom line, the very bottom of what every team will accept, or what the player association wants. We know the bottom line to what MLB proposal wants. Okay. Now it's time to start negotiating what the means and necessaries of putting all this together. MLB bottom dollar, they want a salary cap and they want a floor cap. They want a in between, they want numbers at both ends for teams to spend. And they cap out at 245. Now, the Players Association thinks that the luxury tax, which this will be the cap, right, should go above 3 million. What the Player Association wants is to reward low revenue teams, and by providing them more money, especially if their team can go to the postseason or finish with a winning record. But what they want to do, they want that revenue to go back to the players. And if clubs don't want that, then they would be taxed on it. Bottom line is that these two parties are far off from each other. That's the anticipation. That's the expectation. We have a lot more discussions to go. We're not even on January 1st, but the important thing is out the window. The fact that we sat here and we made a proposal. They have until December 21st. And if an agreement cannot be reached by this date, owners are expected to lock out the players. The owners have already done this in the past. We've seen it back in 2022, which lasted for over about 100 days. And it led to this delay start of their spring training and regular season of the 2022 schedule. The last time to that was back in 1994, 1995, due to a labor stoppage. So I ask you as a baseball fan, how important is it for this deal to get done in a promptly manner? And the big question is who is going to budge first? Who is going to drop? And who is willing to stick their power? Or lead the league or the players? We'll have more discussion as more information comes your way. All right, tonight is the final stop on SmackDown heading into the Clash of the Castle. Start time is at 8 p.m. on USA Network. There's only one match expected to take place, and that is Axiom and The Miz. You watch it at 8 p.m. in the U.S. on tape delay, airing live internationally at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. SmackDown is at the Olympic Arena in Barcelona, Spain. And we will expect to see WWE Champion Cody Rhodes address Gunther's latest attack. And the WWE Women's Champion Rhea Ripley has a message for Jade Cargill. So, what are you looking forward to tonight on SmackDown? Like I mentioned at the beginning of the program, I'm not saying that Rhea and Jade is not a good match. I think it's going to be a good match. It was a good match back at WrestleMania, but you can't top the buildup. The buildup heading into WrestleMania was this dominance of a performer to a dominance of a WWE athlete of the women's division. And we found out that Rhea Ripley was the better of them too. Now, Jade, of course, wants her title back, and I get that. But that means she'd have to be better than Rhea. Cody Rhodes and Gunther set to address each other one last time at WrestleMania before Clash in Italy. It's all just nonsense. And I'm not trying to bash on Cody Rhodes, but with all due respect, it is the same. I mean, you have two people. You have Cody Rhodes, who does insert himself and makes the drama about him. It's like if he's still trying to, what was that? What was that goal that he was wanting to do? To me, Cody Rhodes is trying to insert himself and make things personal as if everyone has a vendetta against him. When he has the championship, therefore he has a target on his back. Undeniably, the WWE Gunther has proven time and time again this past year that he is a force to be reckoned with. It doesn't matter the mind games that he plays. And that he could put someone to sleep, and when he puts someone to sleep, the match is over. I think Gunther has a better advantage over Cody Rhodes because of the reasoning of what he has been able to do in the past. And you know what? I think for me, I am over the face of Cody Rhodes. I want to see him turn this persona, turn this perspective. Whether you are booed, you are cheered. Take this like selfishness and kind of run with it a little bit. I don't know if the WWE is afraid because it's going to fail. And it is tough, right? This is why John Cena didn't turn heel all those years. This is why you couldn't turn you couldn't turn Rey Mysterio heel. You couldn't turn The Undertaker heel for all the time. There are just some athletes that, for one, you build them so high, they're such a fan favorite that it's impossible. It's impossible to turn someone heel. And I think the window of that is going to run out eventually. I think it's now or never. And I don't want them to make the same mistake they did with John Cena. I feel like the start of that comes to this Sunday when if and when he loses. That's what I'll say. WWE Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill. Still think Rhea is going to walk away victorious. You have Axiom and The Miz. Also got to mention Danhausen in there. What are we gonna see next when it comes down to what project he is working on? And it's just SmackDown. Right now, Raw is still proven to be a much bigger entity than SmackDown. So that's what it is. Let me know down in the comments. We will be back Monday from noon to 1. Hopefully we can figure out this microphone issue. I'm just getting sick and tired of it. It's unbelievable. Appreciate everyone's patience and cooperation as we had to stop and restart this live. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Have those notifications on so you don't miss a single episode. You can follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, where you get all your sports needs as you stay connected over the weekend. On our TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel, we are being back with the Road to the Show. I'm currently in editing of one of those videos, expected to launch sometime next week, possibly Tuesday and Thursday are my expectations. It's going to be published at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we continue our Road to the Show series. Hopefully we get out in advance to give you more content down the road. And also be sure to watch our MLB franchise mode where we play as a Cincinnati Reds throughout the course of the 2026 season. This weekend is the Atlanta Braves all week long. On Saturday, you can enjoy a special inclusive simulation for computer versus computer matchup between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Los Angeles Dodgers, and Sunday Night Baseball simulation, computer versus computer, between the Chicago Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals. That will also be aired on our TNC Sports Talk Facebook page. So be able to watch that and enjoy that content. But that is all the time I have for you guys today. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and we'll be back Monday from noon to 1. My name is Justin. This is the TNC Sports Talk. And until Monday, you guys have a wonderful, glorious weekend. Take care. See you then.